In a world where words are considered the most powerful tool for asserting personal value, could you believe that true value doesn't need words to be expressed? This idea might seem contrary to everything we've ever heard, but let's set aside our preconceptions and explore a different perspective, a perspective from Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy, with its ancient yet timeless principles, teaches us that true strength doesn't lie in eloquent speeches or impressive talks. Instead, that strength resides in our actions, in how we face challenges, and in our ability to maintain calmness and integrity. You might be wondering, how can I be respected and valued without saying anything? The answer lies in practicing Stoic principles, in training yourself to be steadfast, serene, and upright. When you live true to these values, people will naturally recognize and appreciate you without needing any words to prove it. In today's video, I will share with you 10 effective methods to showcase your value without speaking. I also have a challenge for you. Over the next week, try applying Stoic principles to your life. Observe how you react in difficult situations and strive to maintain calmness and steadfastness. Pay attention to how you present yourself and act, exuding confidence and integrity without speaking a word. At the end of the week, reflect and consider the reactions from those around you. Do you notice any differences? Share your experiences in the comments below. Are you ready to start this journey? Comment, I'm ready to apply Stoic philosophy to my life, so we can explore together how to become truly valuable, admired, and respected without having to say a word. Now let's begin. Number 1. Distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. Imagine you are standing before the storm of life, with unforeseen events and challenges swirling around you. Instead of panicking and trying to control everything, you step back, take a deep breath, and clearly distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. This not only helps you maintain your composure, but also demonstrates your resilience and wisdom to others. Distinguishing between what can be controlled and what cannot is a core principle of Stoic philosophy. Mastering this principle not only brings inner peace, but also enhances your value in the eyes of others without needing to say a word. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote in his work, Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The actions of others, or the outcomes of external events, are beyond our control. What we can control includes only our thoughts, emotions, and actions. You may not control how others treat you, but you can completely control how you respond to their actions. Understanding this helps us focus on what we can change and not waste energy on what we cannot. Knowing and applying this principle is key to making a difference. Others often talk about their efforts and struggles to achieve something, only to be disappointed when results don't meet their expectations, because those outcomes were beyond their control. Meanwhile, without saying a word, you distinguish and focus on what you can control, leading to meaningful achievements. Distinguishing between what can and cannot be controlled is not just a life principle, but also a way to showcase your value without much talk. Don't let what is beyond your control dictate your mind and actions. Focus on what you can do, and let your actions speak for themselves. Distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not helps us focus on developing the things we can improve. This leads us to the second lesson. Number 2. Know your value. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We cannot control the external events around us. We can control ourselves. It is not things that trouble us, but our judgments about things." This implies that your value is not determined by what others think of you, but by what you think of yourself and the values you live by. When you understand and appreciate your self-worth, you don't need to say a word to prove it to others. Your actions and presence will speak for themselves. But how do we truly know where our value lies? Practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, where does my value lie? Is it in honesty, patience, or the ability to endure hardships without complaint? Think about the times you have faced challenges without needing to explain or justify yourself. It is in those moments that your value shines the brightest. When you know your worth, you will naturally attract respect from others. You don't need to boast or explain. Let your integrity and ethics lead the way. People around you will sense your steadfastness and courage, and this will create a powerful attraction. Always ask yourself these questions. What values are most important to me? How can I live up to those values every day? When you live true to your values, you'll find that you don't need to speak much to earn respect. Others will recognize your worth through your actions and how you face life. Finally, remember that knowing your worth not only makes you more valuable in the eyes of others, but also helps you find inner peace and happiness. You don't need to seek validation from the outside. Your true value lies in how you live and the values you hold dear. Let this guide you in all your actions, and you will see yourself becoming more valuable than ever. If you agree with this perspective, don't hesitate to like the video to let me know the value of Stoic philosophy has been shared. If you disagree, please comment your thoughts below so we can discuss. Number 3. Build and maintain strong boundaries. When you hear about boundaries, do you often picture them as solid walls isolating you from the world around you? That's completely inaccurate. Boundaries are not rigid barriers, but subtle guides that help us live a meaningful life and stay focused on what matters most. When you know your values, what you live for, and what you pursue, you won't easily let things beyond your control invade your mind. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to remain calm and steadfast, regardless of the challenges around them? It's because they know how to establish and maintain clear boundaries in their lives. They know who they are, what they want, and are ready to reject things that don't serve their goals and values. By building strong boundaries, we send a clear message about respecting and protecting ourselves. This doesn't require words, but it resonates powerfully through our actions. When someone recognizes their values and goals, they are ready to say no, to avoid doing things contrary to their true self without feeling guilty or remorseful. We are willing to withdraw from toxic relationships that hinder our growth and unnecessarily drain our energy. By setting clear boundaries, you also teach others how you wish to be treated. This can enhance your relationships, helping others know where the key to your heart lies. A prime example of maintaining strong boundaries is in the workplace. Imagine you are a project manager. You know well that your team's time, and resources are limited. When faced with requests to add more tasks without proper arrangements, your firm refusal and demand for reasonable adjustments not only protect the efficiency of the work, but also show respect for the time and efforts of the entire team. Maintaining your boundaries is a powerful, unspoken act that helps you stay true to yourself and earn respect from others. Are you ready to start setting clear boundaries in your life? If so, let's move on to lesson 4. Number 4. Live by your principles and values. The Stoic philosophers taught that the way we live and behave reveals everything about who we are. When we live true to our principles and values, our actions, gestures, and decisions naturally reflect our true selves. This not only creates consistency and reliability in the eyes of others, but also helps us maintain our self-respect and self-esteem. Have you ever asked yourself, what are my core values? Or, what principles are unchangeable in my life? Answering these questions makes it easier to realize that living according to what you believe in allows you to express your values most clearly. Not through eloquent words, but through concrete actions, you will show who you are and where you stand. Imagine someone who always talks about the importance of honesty, but frequently deceives others. Their words would become meaningless, even counterproductive. On the contrary, a person who lives with honesty in every small action, from keeping promises to admitting mistakes, will naturally earn respect and trust from others. That is the power of living according to personal principles and values. Living according to principles and values is not easy. It requires determination, courage, and sometimes sacrifice. But through these challenges, we can truly showcase our values without saying a word. As Epictetus emphasized, philosophy is not something to be taught, but to be lived. Before we start the next lesson, I want to ask you a few questions. Have you ever agreed to a request from an acquaintance, even though you didn't want to, just to avoid upsetting them? I think most of you would answer yes, because saying yes is always easier than saying no. However, even though saying no is difficult, we must learn how to do it. Let's move on to the next lesson to explore the reasons why. Number 5. Saying no when necessary. In Stoic philosophy, saying no when necessary is a powerful expression of self-control and self-respect. It allows us to demonstrate our values clearly without uttering a single word. Sometimes, a refusal carries more weight than any words, as it not only reflects a clear understanding of our limits, but also signifies our commitment to personal principles and values. Imagine a situation where you're invited to participate in a project that doesn't align with your goals or values. You might feel pressure from colleagues or fear of disappointing them, but when you decide to say no, you're showcasing a clear inner strength and self-determination. This action, though wordless, sends a strong message that you know where you're heading and why you're refusing. It's a powerful testament to your self-respect and unwillingness to compromise your values for immediate gratification. Have you ever regretted agreeing to a request you knew you shouldn't have? That feeling is often an inner reminder of the importance of protecting your personal space and values. Saying no when necessary is an empowering act, not only helping us uphold our principles, but also creating space to invest in things that truly matter. Moreover, firmly and politely refusing helps build trust and respect from others. They will understand that when you do agree, it genuinely means something and is worth valuing. Do you think someone who always agrees to everything can truly be respected and appreciated? In everyday life, remember that saying no is an essential part of self-care and personal development. Don't hesitate to use it as a tool to protect your values and maintain self-control. By doing so, we not only clearly and powerfully demonstrate our worth, but also live true to the Stoic philosophy of focusing on what we can control and not letting external pressures shake our internal resolve. We've made it halfway through today's journey. Thank you for being here. Your presence is a great motivation for us as we strive to bring the true values of Stoic philosophy to more people. So, please like and share this video to spread these lessons to your loved ones and friends, helping build a happier and more peaceful world together. Leave a comment saying, "No words needed to show value," to let us know you're ready to be a Stoic and energized to continue the journey with the next 5 lessons. Number 6. Care for the community. Did you know that Epictetus is the only philosopher among the 3 pillars of Stoicism who came from what was considered the lowest social status? Despite being born a slave, he dedicated his life to teaching and guiding others, helping them understand the value of living a moral and meaningful life. Because of this, he didn't need to proclaim his greatness. Posterity recognized him as one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. Epictetus emphasized, "No great thing is created suddenly. There must be time. Give your best and always be kind." This statement implies that no one can exist alone. From birth, if it weren't for the nurturing and care of your family, you wouldn't survive. As you grow, every step you take is supported by like-minded people. Your success is built from your efforts and the support of those around you. Therefore, don't focus solely on your own life, but care for those around you as well. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on living a meaningful and ethical life, highlights the importance of contributing to the community as a way of expressing compassion, empathy, and social responsibility. This is not only a significant action for those around you, but also a way to affirm your value and influence in the eyes of others. Additionally, by learning not to focus entirely on yourself and to care for the community, you cultivate the ability to respect the relationships you have. When both sides care about their own needs, strengths, benefits, and perspectives, the relationship becomes deeper and more understanding. When you understand that you are closely connected to the world around you, you will feel a responsibility to give. From there, actions of caring for the community will come naturally from your heart. Your silent actions, no matter how small, contribute to building a better community. You won't need to say a word to affirm your value. Number 7. Develop and demonstrate self-control. Self-control, according to Stoic philosophy, is the ability to manage your emotions, behaviors, and reactions in any situation. This is not just a skill, but an admirable quality that reflects strength and maturity. Philosopher Epictetus repeatedly emphasized, "God has entrusted me with myself. No man is free who is not master of himself. A man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. Epictetus reminds us that true freedom comes from within through self-control and mastery. Self-control helps us remain unaffected by external events, allowing us to stand firm and steer our lives in the direction we desire. It is also reflected in our ability to resist temptations or avoid making hasty decisions. Ask yourself, can you turn down an enticing opportunity that doesn't align with your values and goals? Can you maintain your stance and not get swept up in the crowd? When you achieve this, you won't need to explain or justify yourself. Your actions will speak to your values. We know what's good for us and train our minds not to be swayed by temptations. We need to prioritize what truly matters and direct ourselves toward those choices. We savor each dish at a lavish feast, rather than devouring everything at once to fully appreciate the flavors. We choose a salad over a hamburger for better health. This is undoubtedly challenging, but practice little by little. Be patient. The journey to developing self-control is long and full of challenges, but the rewards it brings are priceless. When you control yourself, you are no longer governed by external factors and can live life on your terms. Self-control not only helps you achieve success, but also brings you true peace and happiness. What do you think about this perspective? Comment, "Practice self-control," if you agree with us. If not, share your thoughts below so we can discuss them together. Number 8. Live by virtue. Philosopher Epictetus once said, "I say that virtue is more valuable than wealth to the same degree, that eyes are more valuable than fingernails. If life were a garden, virtue would be its sweetest fruit." Virtue is not just a theory, but a way of living, an attitude towards life. Stoic practitioners adhere to 4 key virtues: practical wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Practical wisdom involves understanding and clarity in everyday life, knowing what is beneficial and avoiding what is harmful. Courage is moral and ethical bravery, the ability to prevent oneself from wrongdoing, and the courage to stand up for what is right and defend the vulnerable. Justice entails distinguishing between right and wrong and acting with integrity. Temperance means doing everything in moderation, being balanced and not leaning too much toward any extreme, being too kind, too enthusiastic, too cheerful, too cruel, too indifferent, too irritable. All are avoided. It's about controlling all emotions and not letting them go to extremes. These 4 virtues will help you make wise decisions in your life, decisions that are both practical and righteous. The Stoic philosophy always emphasizes that virtue is the foundation of a worthy and meaningful life. Living virtuously helps you appreciate your own value and gain respect from others without uttering a single word. To live virtuously, in the true Stoic sense, means living by noble ethical principles, maintaining integrity, and always acting according to the values you believe in. This alignment will bring you inner peace as your actions resonate with your values. Ultimately, living virtuously requires patience and discipline. It is a long journey, not always easy, but the values you build and uphold will become a solid foundation for your life. Before moving on to the next lesson, I'm curious. Do you believe that sometimes letting go can make our lives more complete. Sounds paradoxical, right? Let me explain further in the next lesson. Number 9. Always ready to let go. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Everything's destiny is to change, to be transformed, to perish, so that new things can be born." This quote reminds us that nothing lasts forever, and we must learn to accept and let go of things that no longer serve us, whether they are tangible possessions, emotions, relationships, or even expectations. Philosopher Epictetus also noted, "Man is affected not by changing events, but by the view he takes of them." When we are ready to let go, we demonstrate control over our reactions to situations rather than letting circumstances control us. This is the true value of self-mastery. Imagine holding something in your hand. It could be a precious item, a relationship, or an unrealistic goal. When you hold on too tightly, you not only limit your freedom, but also create unnecessary pressure. Letting go does not mean abandoning value. It means recognizing that true value lies in the ability to accept and adapt to change. Letting go of things that no longer fit allows us to focus on what truly matters. When you let go, you free yourself from unnecessary burdens and create opportunities for new and positive experiences. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer adds value to my life? Am I willing to let it go to seek peace and freedom? By showing a readiness to let go, you signal to the world that you are not bound by external things, but instead respect and prioritize your intrinsic values. This is the highest expression of self-mastery and Stoic wisdom. Remember, your value is not in what you hold on to, but in how you let go and embrace change with calm and wisdom. Number 10. Give love without expecting anything in return. People often expect something in return when they give, and love is no exception. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us to give love without expecting anything in return. This type of love truly shines and reflects our value without the need for words. Practicing unconditional love is closely tied to compassion. We understand that everyone, including ourselves, has flaws, and we are all part of the symphony of the universe. Therefore, we don't demand or base our actions on others' actions. We give love simply to give love. When you love without expecting anything in return, you demonstrate immense confidence and inner strength. You don't need to speak of your value. Your actions speak for themselves. Imagine a mother caring for her child with all her love, without expecting gratitude or reciprocation. Her love radiates through every action, every gentle gesture, without the need for words. Her patience, compassion, and dedication clearly show her value without needing to be stated. This is unconditional love. Consider the lives of those you admire most. Isn't it their silent actions, their sacrifices, and their unconditional love that earn your respect and admiration? Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Loving unconditionally is within our control, and it is what creates our true value. It shows that we are in control of our lives. This is our personal strength. Ultimately, Giving love without expectations not only helps us demonstrate our value, but also helps us find inner peace and happiness. It is a journey of giving, compassion, and patience. Let your love shine through your silent actions, and let your true value be honored through the powerful silence. Remember, your value isn't determined by the words you say, but by the actions you take and the way you live each day. In your journey to seek respect and appreciation, let calmness, steadfastness, and stoic spirit guide you. As you learn to control yourself, face adversity with tranquility, and live by your principles, your value will naturally shine through without needing an explanation. This journey isn't easy, but it's meaningful. Try looking in the mirror each day and asking yourself, have I lived true to my values today? You'll find that when you live authentically, you don't need to say much for others to recognize your worth. They will sense it through your presence and behavior.